Do you find yourself longing to travel abroad but lacking the financial means? Don't let that deter you from living a fulfilling life. Remember, as an American, you reside in one of the most remarkable countries globally. While venturing out and experiencing other cultures can be enriching, there are instances where staying home might be the wiser choice, as illustrated by the stories we're about to share. Eva Liu, a 21-year-old from Naperville, Illinois, embarked on an eagerly anticipated trip to Neuschwanstein Castle in Bavaria with her close friend and classmate Kesley Chang. She completed her junior and high school education and earned her bachelor's and master's degrees in computer science from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. Eva was excited to unwind from the stresses of academia before starting her professional career as a software engineer at Microsoft. On a clear day on June 14, 2023, they decided to hike near the Marienbrücke Bridge, a narrow footbridge 300 feet above a gorge, offering breathtaking views of Neuschwanstein Castle, one of Germany's most famous tourist attractions. The day's excitement was palpable as they marveled at the stunning scenery. However, their adventure took a tragic turn when they met a third party. While hiking near the Marienbrücke Bridge, they met Troy Philip Bowling, a 30-year-old U.S. national who conversed with them. Bowling, seemingly friendly and knowledgeable about the area, told the young women about a secluded trail that led to a good lookout point, with a much better view of the castle for selfies. Trusting his expertise, Eva and Kesley followed him off the main path. As they walked, the trail became increasingly isolated, but Bowling reassured them that they were close to a fantastic spot. Once Bowling was sure they were far enough from the main trail, he suddenly turned on Eva, pushing her to the ground. He tried to undress her with the explicit intention of assaulting her. Stunned and terrified, Eva struggled to fend him off. Kesley, seeing her friend in danger, rushed to help. A desperate scuffle ensued, and Bowling, much more vital and intent on his attack, choked Kesley, rendering her helpless before pushing her down a steep slope. Kesley tumbled approximately 50 meters, sustaining a head injury along with multiple bruises and scrapes, but she survived. Meanwhile, Bowling turned his attention back to Eva. He strangled her until she lost consciousness, and then proceeded to assault her. After his brutal attack, he callously pushed her down the slope as well. Eva's fall was fatal, exacerbated by the trauma she had already endured. When rescuers eventually reached the scene, they found Kesley injured but alive, while Eva had succumbed to her injuries. The violent attack left the idyllic scene marred by tragedy, turning a joyous trip into a nightmare. A mountain rescue team reached both women after the harrowing incident. Kesley Chang, who was responsive, was quickly taken to a hospital for treatment. Eva Liu, in critical condition, was airlifted by helicopter to another hospital. Despite the medical team's best efforts, she succumbed to her injuries overnight. The suspect, Troy Philip Bowling, fled the scene but was apprehended shortly after in the vicinity. Bowling's trial began with his admission of guilt to charges of murder and sexual assault. His lawyer, Philip Muller, acknowledged the gravity of his client's actions, stating that Bowling had committed an unfathomable crime. The prosecution presented evidence, including a laptop and cell phone seized from Bowling, which contained child sexual abuse material. Authorities confirmed that the two women had no prior acquaintance with Bowling before their fateful meeting near Neuschwanstein. During the trial, Muller argued that Bowling's actions were not intended. He acted spontaneously and is deeply ashamed of his actions, Muller told the court. Despite this defense, the charges against Bowling were severe. He faced counts of murder, sexual assault with fatal consequences, attempted murder, and possession of child sexual abuse videos. In Germany, a murder conviction carries a maximum sentence of life imprisonment. The additional charges only compounded the severity of Bowling's impending sentence. In 2015, Catherine Chappell, a renowned visual effects editor for Game of Thrones, left her American home to support wildlife conservation efforts in South Africa, captivated by the beauty of the African wilderness. Born in December 1985 in Westchester County, New York, Catherine lived with her family before graduating from Hofstra University in Long Island. Her career in visual effects took her to Vancouver in 2013, where she quickly established herself as a talented editor. Catherine interned at MSNBC during the winter and spring of 2008 before joining Scanline, where she contributed to some of the most popular entertainment projects. Her skillful touch graced hit series like Game of Thrones and blockbuster movies such as Captain America: The Winter Soldier and Divergence. Her outstanding work on Game of Thrones earned her a Primetime Emmy Award for the episode The Children in the fourth season, marking her as a rising star in the industry. Drawn by a passion for wildlife conservation, Catherine embarked on a journey to South Africa in 2015. Her mission was to support Wildlife Act, a dedicated conservation charity, by contributing to wildlife preservation and raising funds. On June 1, 2015, Catherine's expedition led her to Johannesburg's Lion Park. Accompanied by a tour guide from Calabash Tours, she embarked on an adventure that would forever be etched in memory. Little did she know that the encounter with nature would result in a tragedy that would shake her family, friends, and the world. With her guide by her side, she embarked on a journey to experience the majesty of the lion encampment. Drawn by the allure of capturing a fleeting moment of wildlife magnificence, she opened her window to take a picture. A decision seemingly innocuous, yet it would set off a chain of events that would prove devastating. In an unforeseen and tragic twist, a lion seized the opportunity the open window presented. With a sudden and swift movement, the majestic creature lunged forward and attacked Catherine, inflicting injuries that would prove fatal. The guide, Pierre Pogeter, displayed immense courage in his efforts to protect her, risking his safety to battle the lioness in a valiant attempt to save Catherine's life. However, despite the bravery exhibited by Potgieter, the encounter ended in tragedy. Catherine Chappell's journey was tragically cut short, and her promising career and boundless potential were extinguished instantly. The encounter's aftermath left a trail of sorrow in its wake. Catherine's family was plunged into heartache as news of the incident reached them. Her boyfriend, Grayson Hoare, shared a tearful moment with mourners, recounting his premonitions. He had warned Catherine about the challenges of her venture, urging her to remember that she was only a city girl and to exercise caution in unfamiliar territory. At the memorial gathering, Catherine's sister, Jennifer Chappell, delivered a poignant eulogy that captured the essence of a young woman who had embraced life with unmatched enthusiasm. Jennifer described Catherine as fearless, her spirit untamed by the boundaries of convention. Amidst the collective sorrow, an eyewitness, Ben Govender, offered a first-hand account of the tragedy. He narrated that the lioness stood up on its rear paws, balancing on the vehicle. Then it suddenly lunged forward and grabbed Miss Chappell through the window. Ben added that he saw Potgieter diving into the passenger seat and punching at the lioness. In Ben's narration, the lioness retreated from the car with blood dripping from her mouth and paw after the first bite, but the horror wasn't over yet. The animal staged a second, even more devastating attack, and with that attack, Catherine's face was torn apart. The right side of her chest was gone, with half her shoulder in the lioness's mouth. Ben witnessed this attack while sitting in a car behind Chappell's vehicle. He took a picture of the lioness when it leaped at Catherine's window, not realizing what would happen next. The guide, Pierre Pogeter, displayed bravery beyond measure, yet the toll on his well-being was immense. The stress, the violence, and the adrenaline culminated in a heart attack that would forever link his name with the events that had unfolded. Hospitalized, he reflected on what he deemed the worst experience of his life, a testament to the indelible impact of that fateful day. The aftermath of the tragic incident at the Lion Park stirred a wave of public outcry and scrutiny, as questions were raised about the circumstances that led to Catherine Chappell's untimely demise. Amidst the grief and heartbreak, the actions and responses of those involved became the focal point of intense debate and analysis. As news of the incident spread, the Lion Park authorities stepped forward to defend the park's practices and regulations. Their assertion was clear. Visitors were consistently instructed to keep their windows closed within the park's premises. This cornerstone rule was designed to ensure the safety of both visitors and the animals that roamed freely. The incident, however, ignited a storm of public outrage, amplified by the fact that Catherine Chappell was no ordinary visitor. Her association with the entertainment industry, particularly her contributions to projects like Game of Thrones and Captain America: The Winter Soldier, lent her a certain celebrity status. Many wondered how such a tragedy could occur to a person of her stature, especially when she was accompanied by a guide during her visit. However, the deed has been done, and Catherine can never be brought back from the dead. In 2017, Jay Austen and Lauren Geoghegan, both 29, decided to leave behind their conventional lives in Washington, D.C., to embark on an extraordinary journey. They quit their jobs, Jay from the Department of Housing and Urban Development, where he had worked for 7 years, and Lauren from her position as a senior admissions officer at Georgetown University. The couple set off to cycle worldwide, documenting their travels on their blog and sharing the wonders and challenges of their adventures. Their first significant trip took them to South Africa, where they enjoyed the vibrant landscapes and rich cultures. From there, they moved on to Morocco, eager to explore the Casablanca Mountains by bicycle. Acts of kindness became common in Jay and Lauren's travels. They frequently encountered strangers who extended remarkable generosity, which they reciprocated with enthusiasm and gratitude. However, their adventure took a tragic turn on July 29, 2018, as they cycled through Asia. The morning of July 29, 2018, dawned like any other for Austin and Geoghegan. Their latest destination was Tajikistan, a mountainous Central Asian country known for its stunning landscapes and rich history. Accompanied by 2 other cyclists, a Swiss citizen and a Dutch national, they were traversing the region's winding roads about 60 miles south of the capital, Dushanbe. Their travels were chronicled in a blog that captivated readers with tales of their adventures and reflections on the world. One particular entry stood out, a Q&A segment discussing the potential dangers of bike touring. Relatively speaking, bike touring is really safe, they wrote, exuding optimism and faith in humanity. They acknowledged the possibility of encountering dangers like diseases or wildlife, but dismissed the notion that people posed a significant threat. The greatest danger to us, any of us really, are humans in cars, who kill more people than anything else in the world. Tragically, their words turned prophetic. As the 4 cyclists pedaled along the road that day, a Daewoo sedan approached. Without warning, the driver allegedly swerved, ramming the car into the cyclists. The impact was devastating, but the horror didn't end there. The occupants of the vehicle emerged, brandishing knives, and launched a brutal assault on the injured cyclists. In the aftermath of the attack, the assailants fled, driving their blood-stained car down a remote road towards the Afghanistan border. Their escape brought them to the small village of Tutbulak. The villagers, noticing the damaged car and its suspicious occupants, alerted authorities. When the men abandoned the vehicle, the villagers followed, ensuring they couldn't disappear into the wilderness. Confronted by authorities, the situation escalated. One of the attackers was killed after resisting arrest. The remaining 4 fled, but their escape was short-lived. The next day, 3 more were located and killed. The final attacker, Hussein Abdusamadov, was captured and taken into custody. It was soon revealed that these men had pledged allegiance to ISIS in a video filmed in Tajikistan before the attack. Abdusamadov was identified as the ringleader. In a chilling interview, he expressed no remorse for the killings, firmly standing by his actions. His trial was swift and conducted behind closed doors, leading to a life sentence, Tajikistan's harshest punishment. This brutal attack on innocent travelers cast a dark shadow over the region. It was a stark reminder of the unpredictable dangers lurking even in the most beautiful places. For Austin and Geoghegan, their dream trip ended in tragedy, a sobering contrast to the hopeful, adventurous spirit that had driven them to explore the world on 2 wheels. On October 5, 2022, 24-year-old Sebastian turned on the fuel-burning water heater inside the bathroom to shower with warm water in an Airbnb-rented Rio de Janeiro apartment. Had he known, he wouldn't have tried that because his life, vast dreams, and aspirations were thwarted at that moment. Sebastian, born on May 9, 1998 in Miami, Florida, to Rosa Elena Martinez Betis and Jaime Mejia Londono, Colombian immigrants, spent his formative years in Miramar, Florida. He graduated summa cum laude from Palmetto Ridge High School in 2016. A dedicated scholar, Sebastian received Florida's Academic Scholars Award, enabling him to pursue a dual bachelor's degree in Latin American and Caribbean Studies and International Affairs, with a minor in Portuguese at Florida State University. Graduating summa cum laude in May 2020, he showcased his academic prowess and commitment to learning. Throughout his undergraduate years, Sebastian immersed himself in diverse experiences, serving as an English instructor and childcare provider in Managua, Nicaragua, and undertaking teaching and tutoring roles in Tallahassee and Naples. He also dedicated his time to volunteering with organizations such as the Tallahassee Bail Fund and the Frenchtown Urban Farm. Additionally, Sebastian assumed leadership roles, notably serving as the director and event coordinator for the Coalition for Latinx Studies at Florida State University. Sebastian took it upon himself to delve into genealogical research, driven by a desire to explore his roots as a descendant of the Muisca and Panche peoples. Eager to reconnect with his ancestral community language and heritage, he embarked on a journey to uncover the history of the Muisca people and their ongoing struggle for recognition as an indigenous community in Colombia. Sebastian's research journey extended beyond the confines of academia as he engaged with communities through archival studies and ethnographic fieldwork in Brazil and his grandmother's hometown of Alban, Cundinamarca, Colombia. In the spring of 2021, Sebastian received a departmental fellowship from New York University, marking the beginning of his graduate studies at the Center for Latin American and Caribbean Studies. Throughout his academic journey, he immersed himself in coursework focusing on indigeneity, social movements, and the impacts of capitalism on indigenous communities in Brazil and Colombia. By fall, he commenced his master's degree program, while concurrently undertaking his Fulbright research program, guided by faculty from the Institute of History at the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro. Tragically, Sebastian's promising journey was cut short by a sudden and unforeseen accident. An improperly installed and damaged exhaust duct led to dangerously high levels of carbon monoxide emanating from the water heater he activated. Trapped within the confines of his bathroom, Sebastian succumbed to the lethal gas. His lifeless body was discovered the following day. A Brazilian police investigation revealed that the water heater's exhaust duct was improperly connected and damaged. The bathroom lacked proper ventilation, and the heater was improperly installed inside the bathroom, in violation of the applicable building code. Despite Airbnb's marketing efforts to position itself as a purveyor of safety, it refuses to mandate the use of simple carbon monoxide detectors. Sebastian's family said that Airbnb never reached out to them after Sebastian's death. In June, they sued the company in California state court, but that couldn't bring Sebastian back. Sarai Sierra, a 33-year-old American woman from Staten Island, New York, embarked on her first solo trip abroad in January 2013, driven by her deep passion for photography. Her journey to Istanbul, Turkey was meant to be a thrilling adventure, with the promise of capturing the city's rich history and vibrant culture through her lens. However, this trip, which was supposed to be a story of artistic exploration and personal growth, ended in a tragedy that shook her family and friends to their core. Originally, Sarai had planned to travel with a friend. However, she decided to venture out alone when those plans fell through at the last minute. Undeterred by the change in plans, Sarai embraced the opportunity to explore Istanbul's iconic landmarks and hidden gems on her terms. With its blend of ancient architecture and bustling modern life, Istanbul was a perfect canvas for her photographic aspirations. Throughout her stay in Istanbul, Sarai maintained regular contact with her family. She shared her experiences and excitement through messages, video chats, and social media posts, giving her loved ones a glimpse into her journey. Sarai's trip was scheduled to end on January 21, 2013, when she was supposed to return home to New York. However, as the day came and went, there was no word from her. When she failed to board her flight back, her family immediately knew something was wrong. Stephen Sierra, Sarai's husband, and her brother, David Jimenez, were gripped by an overwhelming sense of urgency. They decided to travel to Istanbul to assist in the search for Sarai. The city, the backdrop of Sarai's adventure, became the center of their frantic efforts to find her. In Istanbul, Stephen and David worked closely with local authorities, distributing flyers and seeking any information that could lead them to Sarai. The story of the missing American woman quickly garnered media attention, both in Turkey and internationally. The Turkish police launched an extensive investigation, searching through CCTV footage and interviewing locals who might have seen Sarai. As days turned into weeks, the anxiety and fear for Sarai's well-being grew. Her family clung to hope, imagining that she might still be alive and waiting to be found. Yet despite their relentless efforts, leads remained scarce, and the reality of her disappearance became increasingly grim. After an extensive search that lasted nearly 2 weeks, Sarai Sierra's body was discovered on February 2, 2013, near the remnants of the ancient city walls in the Sarayburnu district of Istanbul, Turkey. This area, known for its historical significance and frequent tourist visits, became the tragic endpoint of Sarai's first international trip. The discovery brought a heartbreaking conclusion to an ordeal that had captivated her home community on Staten Island and the international public. When Sarai first went missing, her family and friends were immediately alarmed. She had left her passport, clothes, phone chargers, and medical cards in her rented room in Beyoğlu, indicating she had not planned to disappear voluntarily. This raised immediate red flags about her well-being. The last images of Sarai alive were captured by surveillance cameras on January 21st, showing her in a food court and on a street, wearing the same outfit in which her body was later found. The investigation into her disappearance revealed that Sarai had suffered a fatal blow to the head, confirming she had been murdered. There was no evidence suggesting she had been assaulted, nor were there indications of her involvement in espionage or human trafficking. The location where her body was found was not believed to be the primary crime scene. A blanket found nearby suggested she had been moved post-mortem, as the area was typically crowded with tourists. Turkish authorities launched a comprehensive investigation, questioning at least 9 suspects, including 2 women. The breakthrough in the case came when a homeless man named Ziya Tasali was apprehended. Under interrogation, Tasali confessed to attacking Sarai while she was taking photographs near the city walls. He admitted to attempting to kiss her, and when she resisted, he struck her with a rock, leading to her death. His confession was substantiated by DNA evidence found at the crime scene, conclusively linking him to the murder. In June 2014, Ziya Tasali was convicted of Sarai Sierra's murder and sentenced to life in prison. The case drew widespread media attention, both in Turkey and internationally, highlighting significant concerns about the safety of solo travelers, particularly women.